in the vast frozen expanse of the Arctic. There's a landmass 3 times the size of Texas, covered almost entirely in ice. It's a place of stark beauty and ancient silence. This is Greenland. Officially, it's an autonomous territory within the Kingdom of Denmark. But in the quiet corridors of global power, it's seen as something else entirely. A strategic prize. A keystone in the future of our world. Nobody truly owns Greenland, but everyone wants the power it holds. What makes this icy island so important? It's all about location. Greenland sits at the top of the world, a colossal gatekeeper to the Arctic Ocean. For centuries, this was a frozen, impassable frontier. But the world is changing. As the ice melts, new shipping lanes are opening up, the famed Northwest and Northeast passages. These routes could slash travel time between Asia, Europe, and North America by weeks, redrawing the map of global trade. The country that controls or influences Greenland has a front-row seat to this new maritime highway. But it's not just about trade. Militarily, Greenland is a giant, unsinkable aircraft carrier in the North Atlantic. It provides a critical vantage point, a bridge between 2 continents. From its shores, a nation can monitor air and sea traffic across a vast portion of the Northern Hemisphere. This is why the shortest air route between North America and Eurasia flies directly over Greenland. Dominance in the skies often starts with dominance on the ground below. It's the ultimate high ground in the new great game of the 21st century. This isn't a new discovery. The strategic value of Greenland became crystal clear during World War II in 1940. After Denmark fell to Nazi Germany, the United States, fearing a German foothold in the Western Hemisphere, stepped in. Under an agreement with the Danish ambassador in Washington, the U.S. began constructing air bases and weather stations across Greenland. These facilities were vital. They were crucial for flying aircraft and supplies to Britain and for hunting German U-boats that preyed on Allied convoys in the Atlantic. Greenland became an essential, if little known, linchpin in the Allied victory. When the war ended, the Cold War began. Greenland's strategic importance only grew. The island was now on the front line of the ideological battle between the United States and the Soviet Union. The shortest path for Soviet bombers to reach America was over the North Pole. In response, the U.S. built the Thule Air Base in the far north of Greenland. This wasn't just any base. It was a marvel of engineering and a cornerstone of American defense. It housed a ballistic missile early warning system, a massive radar installation designed to give the U.S. precious minutes of warning in the event of a nuclear attack. For decades, Thule was the silent guardian, a watchful eye in the frozen north, cementing the deep defense ties between the U.S., Denmark, and Greenland. The island was no longer a remote curiosity. It was a non-negotiable part of Western security architecture. Beneath Greenland's massive ice sheet, which covers about 80% of the island, lies another kind of treasure, a geological jackpot. As the climate warms and the ice recedes, it's revealing what could be one of the world's largest untapped reserves of minerals and natural resources. We're not just talking about iron, lead, or zinc. We're talking about rare earth elements. These are the 17 metals essential for modern technology. They're in your smartphone, your electric car, your computer, and in advanced military hardware like fighter jets and missile guidance systems. Right now, the global supply of rare earths is overwhelmingly dominated by a single country, China. This gives Beijing immense leverage over global supply chains. If you want to build the technology of the future, you need these metals. Greenland potentially holds enough rare earths to diversify the entire global market. This has turned the island from a strategic military outpost into a strategic economic one. Prospectors and international mining corporations are now surveying the newly exposed coastlines, hoping to unlock this buried wealth. The question is no longer just about who controls the sea lanes, but who will control the very building blocks of the 21st century economy. The ice is melting, and a modern-day gold rush is beginning. This convergence of strategic location and resource wealth has placed Greenland squarely in the middle of a new era of geopolitical competition. The great powers are circling the United States. Reawakening to the Arctic's importance has increased its diplomatic and economic presence. In 2020, it reopened a consulate in Greenland's capital, Nuuk, for the first time in decades. The message was clear: America is back in the Arctic to stay. Its primary goal is to reinforce its long-standing security interests and ensure its NATO allies, particularly Denmark, remain the key players in the region. Washington is wary of any rival power gaining a foothold, and rivals are certainly interested. Russia, with its long Arctic coastline, has been dramatically expanding its military presence in the region, reopening Soviet-era bases and deploying new icebreakers. For Moscow, the Arctic is its strategic backyard. Then there's China. Though it has no Arctic territory, it has declared itself a near-Arctic state and is aggressively pursuing economic and scientific opportunities. Beijing has offered to finance airports, ports, and mining projects in Greenland, seeking to gain influence through its Belt and Road Initiative. This has raised alarms in Washington and Copenhagen. They see China's investments not as simple commerce, but as a Trojan horse for strategic influence, potentially giving it access to critical infrastructure and resources. Greenland has become a chessboard where the moves of the US, Russia, and China will shape the future balance of power. But there is a vital voice in this story that is often overlooked: the people of Greenland themselves. The island is home to around 57,000 people, the vast majority of whom are Inuit. They have a unique culture, a deep connection to the land, and a powerful desire for self-determination. In 2009, Greenland took a major step toward that goal, gaining self-governance. While Denmark still controls foreign policy and defense, Greenland's government manages most of its domestic affairs, including its vast mineral resources. This creates a delicate and complex dynamic. The Greenlandic people are caught between a desire for full independence and the economic realities of supporting a new nation. The potential wealth from mining could be the ticket to breaking away from Denmark's annual subsidy, which currently funds a large part of their public services. However, this path is fraught with challenges. There are deep concerns about the environmental impact of large-scale mining on their pristine landscape. There is also a political tightrope to walk. Accepting investment from a great power like China might bring short-term wealth, but it could also mean trading one form of dependence for another. The ultimate decision about Greenland's future, its resources, its alliances, and its destiny will be made by its people. They are not pawns on a chessboard. They are the players who will ultimately decide the game. So, what happens next? The future of Greenland is the future of the Arctic, and perhaps the future of the global power balance. As the ice continues to melt, the northern sea route will become a bustling commercial artery. The demand for critical minerals will only intensify. The military posturing between the great powers in the high north will likely increase. Greenland sits at the epicenter of all these trends. Will it achieve full independence, funded by a resource boom? Or will it remain in a strategic partnership with Denmark and the West, a key pillar of NATO's northern flank? Could it fall under the economic sway of a rising power from the east? The choices made in Nuuk, Copenhagen, Washington, and Beijing in the coming years will have consequences that ripple across the globe. The silent, icy giant is awakening. The world is watching because everyone understands that what happens in Greenland will not stay in Greenland. The fate of this remote island is now inextricably linked to the future of global trade, technology, and security. The great game for the world's strategic prize has only just begun. Thank you for watching. If you found this exploration of Greenland's strategic importance insightful, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the forces shaping our world.